Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Bow News Network. As you already know, we are tracking severe weather in the region of Arkansas, Texas, as well as Louisiana along the border. There have been some severe weather that has actually been popping up in Arkansas, as well as in the area of Houston and College Station. So we wanted to definitely bring you some radar imagery, and so you can actually see a little bit more as far as what's actually happening. Here we have some a breakdown of severe thunderstorm alerts just north of Little Rock, Arkansas. And you can actually see right around Little Rock, Arkansas, there's a zone that is actually showing severe weather in the region. There's also another flash flood zone in the region of Hot Springs, and we're seeing some really impressive upper level sharing as well as movement of these storms as it makes its way through Arkansas. We are hoping that as tornado advisories are issued, and several advisories have been issued in the region of Arkansas as well as Texas for tonight already. We are hoping that residents will take heed of these warnings, particularly with respect to flash flooding and reducing any risk of electrocution, or also being outside and having down power lines or tree limbs, which often cause injury during flash flooding. But we're actually seeing some really powerful cells that are moving northwest in most cases, northeast in most cases, somewhere between 25 to 30 knots. They're actually moving through the state of Arkansas, and we're actually going to show you also that a lot of the information that's coming in from the radar is actually showing very, very powerful circulation and also heavy rain. Some of the information coming in is actually showing in some areas like Little Rock, Arkansas, Glenwood, also Conway, they received rain to the tune of an inch to an inch and a half in a matter of an hour or two. So that is actually per an hour rating as far as the rainfall is concerned. When we take a closer look at our radar, we also see something very interesting, and you'll actually notice that some of the storms are actually taking a northeasterly track, and while some storm cells are actually taking more of a northerly track. But we can actually see some really, really powerful power spots near Alexander and Benton, and that's just south of Little Rock. So residents of the core of Arkansas are bearing the brunt of severe weather tonight, and some of the cells that are coming in, they are moving rapidly through the state of Arkansas. Luckily, the residents to the east of these cells, such as Pine Bluff, they may be spared with this round of storms, but we anticipate throughout the night that these storms will actually start to shift quite a bit more towards the east, as the low pressure system that is actually anchored a little bit near the state of anchored a little bit close to the border of New Mexico and Texas, as that makes its way across, and the high pressure system that was anchored over in the northeast, as that makes its way further into the Atlantic, what will actually happen is a lot of those storms will start to shift a little bit more to the east. But we're seeing actually tornado advisories coming in from just west of Houston, south of College Station, but east of Austin, and we're just seeing some really powerful cells that are supercells and circulation that's actually coming in to our weather center at this time. We do anticipate that with surface heating, that throughout the night, going into midnight and the early morning hours of Wednesday, there are a possibility of one or two powerful tornadoes touching down, which is always synonymous with severe weather, simply because surface heating during the day will actually remove any kind of capping which may inhibit any kind of development of tornadoes at night. So that is one of the dangers of nighttime tornadoes, coupled with the fact of lack of visibility. You have very, very little time to react when nighttime tornadoes are around. You may be in touch with, and I hope that residents are in touch with as many mediums as possible as far as news and information, and they will be notified as soon as possible for this area. But as you can see, just from the precipitation model, it's pretty severe. If we go to the region for Texas now, we see from the satellite imagery, radar imagery coming in from the Doppler radar, we actually see some very, very impressive strength supercells moving through the region of College, just south of College Station, and also just east of, just west of Houston, but west of San Antonio. This entire area, ladies and gentlemen, is very saturated simply because of only 24 to 48 hours ago there were torrential rains not only in the region of Texas but also Louisiana, Lake Charles area received many inches of rain, and they're actually saying at this particular time it seems as if they received more rain than some of the previous hurricanes that came through that area. And we all know how severe 2020 storm season was for the Lake Charles area and that area of the Gulf of Mexico along the Gulf Coast states. So that is definitely something to consider. Several flash flood advisories are in effect for this region near the College Station, Houston area, Beaumont, simply because this is really a hotbed for severe thunderstorm activity at this time. One thing to remember also is that as that low pressure system that we had shown in a previous update was actually progressing its way and really pivoting its way into the southwest region, the high pressure system that was anchored and pivoted in the area of Pennsylvania and also the northeastern states, that was actually transitioning into the Atlantic, and they were actually acting as gears or a mechanism to actually increase the influx of low-level moisture that was actually being pulled into this region. So coupled with the low-level moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, keep in mind also that the sea surface temperatures at this particular time, and we actually showed it in one of our updates right now, sea surface temperatures are 77, 78 degrees at peak right now, and we were just hovering just under that 80-degree Fahrenheit zone. And as you already know, that is once the sea surface temperatures of the Gulf of Mexico pick up to 80 degrees or more, then that signals severe weather, because that is this really low level moisture and that increases the chance of cyclogenesis and the generation of very, very powerful supercell thunderstorms, as well as clusters, supercells that increase the likelihood of tornadoes also. We did see from our bulk sharing model that at the upper level of the atmosphere, the winds are between 45, 50, 55 knots, and that is significant with respect to increasing the what's called storm relative vorticity of a lot of these thunderstorms, and it gives it actually more fuel to actually possibly turn into tornadoes. But we do see here quite a few systems that are moving through this region right now, and you can actually see one of the systems actually making its way through Yucam, and that is just south of that zone that is anticipated with a cyclonic action, cyclonic event that may eventually be possibly a tornado. But throughout the night, we anticipate that there are going to be these types of warnings being issued by the National Weather Service. The Storm Prediction Center has been pretty much on point as far as letting people know, especially in the regions of Lubbock, Texas, Amarillo, Texas, Houston, Texas, also in the region of Little Rock, Arkansas, also in cities in Louisiana, to be prepared for severe weather throughout the night. And we anticipate cities such as Lake Charles, they will continue to receive heavy rainfall pretty much throughout the rest of the week. We don't anticipate it actually letting up until possibly the weekend. We do see it forecasted for additional rainfall. So we do hope and pray that a lot of the flash flooding that occurred only 12 or 24 hours ago, a majority of it has already receded as we prepare for additional precipitation, additional flash flooding risk in that region. But here we have in the region of Houston, and also coming through that area is going to be some really significant rain, and it's going to be severe throughout the entire night.